Heyo everyone, welcome to a brand new sales episode. Today we'll look through the eShop together at some of the best deals you can pick up right now. I'm sure most of you have noticed the sales have been getting better and better over the last few weeks, and I'm willing to bet they're going to continue with these amazing prices for the next few months. The games will rotate week to week, of course, so be sure to keep an eye on them as often as possible and wishlist the ones that you want and maybe you're not too sure about. Of course, today we'll focus on games under $5. Tomorrow or later this weekend, we'll look at games under $10, so make sure you hit that bell for me so you don't miss the upload. If this is your first time here at the channel, welcome and thanks for hanging out. If you have a good time or you enjoy saving money on great games, consider hitting that red button down below to subscribe and become part of the crew. We'd love to welcome you, but I do have to warn you, I can't guarantee the safety of your wallets or your purses, as we tend to build extensive backlogs here in this community, and it can become quite addictive. Nah, in all seriousness though, welcome and thank you. And if you've been here before, welcome back my friends, thanks as always. We appreciate you, much love to the fam, and with all that said, let's dive in and find some deals. As always, stay safe out there, and please, enjoy the video. Alright, we'll start off with Alwa's Awakening. This is a single-player 2D retro platformer that can take more than 10 hours to complete, depending on how many secrets you want to uncover, and it has a download size around 300 megabytes. Now this is an ultra-challenging platformer where you'll face off against your enemies and solve puzzles with your trusty magical staff. Along the way, there are numerous upgrades you can find in this large interconnected world featuring a catchy 8-bit soundtrack made just for the game. Now these games can be notoriously unforgiving and don't tend to hold your hand, leaving you to find the next clue on your own, so keep that in mind. But if you're interested in Alwa's Awakening, it's on sale until the 9th, marked down 50% to just $4.99, and the sequel is also available if you want to pick up both. Next up we have Bite the Bullet. This is an action platformer from Mega Cat Studios published by Graffiti Games, and it offers multiplayer action for 2 players locally with the main story that should last maybe 2 or 3 hours, and it has a download size just under 3 gigabytes. The major twist here is that in addition to running and gunning, you also have to eat your enemies, bullets, and more to upgrade your characters, your weapons, and your skills. Basically, you mow down the enemies and then eat the corpses to consume their energy, and then move forward. You can also pick between 4 classes and make your way through the 50 different levels in a few different ways. I love how what you eat can affect your character's look and abilities, and this is a cool game worth checking out. Right now it's on sale until the 17th, marked down 80% to just $2.99, matching a previous low. Evergate is a single-player adventure platformer from Stone Lantern Games with a main story that should last roughly 7 to 10 hours with a download size around 3.7 gigabytes. In this one, players wield the Soul Flame and unleash extraordinary powers. It's a journey through the beautiful and haunting afterlife in this unique 2D puzzle platformer. The game features a cool time-based mechanic allowing you to slow time and use these crystals that you find to unleash your full power. The gorgeous environments paired with the original soundtrack were top-notch, and if you're interested in Evergate, make sure to pick it up before the sale ends again on May 9th. It's marked down 50% to a new low of just $4.99. Next up we have Gore and Cannoli. This is an action platformer with a download size around 1.5 gigs, and it offers local multiplayer for up to 4 players. The main story will last roughly 5 to 7 hours and offers a beautifully hand-drawn world, intense combat, and a great story with cinematic cutscenes. Not only do you face off against other rival gangs, but you also have to take on the undead as well. The game takes place in the 20s, around the Prohibition era, and the atmosphere really takes the game to the next level. If you're interested in Gore and Cannoli, make sure to pick it up before the sale ends on May 9th. It's marked down 50%, matching a previous low of just $4.99, and again the sequel is also on sale. My Big Sister is a single-player adventure-style RPG that offers roughly 3 hours of main story gameplay with a download size around 210 megabytes. In this one, we play as 2 young sisters who have been kidnapped and have to find our way back home. The game is shown from a top-down view and sees players solving puzzles and searching for items needed to progress through the story. There are plenty of secrets to find and even multiple endings based on the decisions that you make throughout the game. This is always a nice feature in these shorter games as it gives you a reason to play through them a few times to see everything. If you're interested in My Big Sister, she's taken, you scoundrels. But if you're interested in the game, be sure to check it out before the sale ends on May 16th. It's marked down 67%, matching a previous low of just $1.99. Neversong is a single-player action puzzler with a main story that will last roughly 4 to 5 hours to finish up, and it has a download around 4.6 gigabytes. The game explores many different emotions with a story that's very well written, a dark atmosphere, and a creepy soundtrack that add to the immersion as well. Now the combat and movement do take a little bit of getting used to as the game is lacking that polish you'd see from a larger team, But with that said, the blend of puzzle solving, platforming, and musical elements all work really well together and make for a fun experience overall. If you're interested in Neversong, it's currently on sale until May 10th, marked down 80% to a new all-time low of just $2.99. Next up, we have Pato Box. This is a single-player arcade-style fighting game that will take roughly 6 to 8 hours to complete, and it has a download size around 1.6 gigabytes. The game has an over-the-shoulder view similar to the Punch-Out games from the past, but not only does it look like those titles, it also shares almost identical movesets as well. Of course, you have your left and right dodges, you can duck, you can land body shots or headshots, but where the game sets itself apart is the story. It follows Pato after he's been ambushed at the height of his career. The game features black and white graphics with a mixture of 2D and 3D elements throughout the stages, and that's another highlight of the game. You aren't confined to just in-ring battles, you can actually explore and work your way to the boss battles. If you're interested in this one, be sure to pick it up before the sale ends on May 10th. It's marked down 85%, matching a previous low of just $2.24. Raging Justice is an arcade-style fighter from Team 17, available in co-op for 2 players and has a download size around 1 gigabyte. The main game isn't very long, only lasting maybe 2 hours or so, but there's tons of replayability here, so you'll definitely get your money's worth if you decide to pick it up. The 2D graphics are amazing, and the game features some absolutely brutal combat. The game also gives you the option of playing as a somewhat good guy or an all-out savage, and what I mean by this is you can either daze and arrest your enemies, or you can just take them out if you want. If you're a fan of classic arcade-style beat-em-ups, make sure to grab this one up before the sale ends on May 12th. It's marked down 75%, matching an all-time low of just $3.74. Rising Hell is a single-player action RPG from Chorus Worldwide Games, and while the story is not that long, maybe just over an hour, there's again plenty of replayability here to keep you gaming for much longer than that. Basically, the game is a vertical platformer filled with intense action and an even more intense soundtrack. Players will fight their way through hordes of demons as you attempt to escape hell. The game features some amazing boss battles against gigantic creatures, multiple game modes with online leaderboards, and there's even unlockable playable characters as well. Each of the characters you find play a little bit different from the other ones, so there's plenty of variety too. If you're interested in Rising Hell, make sure to pick it up before May 9th. It's marked down 50% to just $4.99, matching a previous low. Next up, we have Smoke and Sacrifice. This is a single-player narrative-driven RPG from Curve Digital with a main story that will last roughly 15 to 20 hours to finish up, and the download is around 1 gigabyte. In this one, players will have to craft items, fight enemies, and learn to survive as you explore the huge open world. The story follows a young mother who has to sacrifice her firstborn child to the Sun Tree, which is a tree that has replaced the actual sunlight. Players will set off on a mission from here to uncover the dark secrets to what happened to her son. The game features beautiful graphics, the story is engaging, and the controls work perfectly. If you're interested in Smoke and Sacrifice, be sure to pick it up before the sale ends on May 16th. It's marked down 80% to just $3.99. Next up, we have Tallowmere. This is a multiplayer roguelite available in local co-op with up to 3 other friends. The game has a small download size, around 110 megabytes, and the main story should last roughly 6 to 7 hours to finish up. It features randomly generated rooms that progressively get more complex and more deadly. There are tons of weapons to find, and just like with the rooms, they become more and more powerful as you get further into the run. Along with the deadly traps and the weapons, of course the enemies follow suit, and by the end they can be quite challenging as well. If you're looking for a fun game to play with some friends and couch co-op, be sure to check out Tallowmere before the sale ends on May 13th. Right now it's marked down 70% to just $2.09, which matches a previous low. The Gardens Between is a single-player puzzle-style adventure game from Voxel Agents and offers a short and emotional story that should last roughly 2 to 3 hours to finish, and it has a download around 1.7 gigabytes. Now this is a game focused on time, memory, and friendship, in which you play as 2 best friends as they relive their memories and examine their strong bond. We do this through a series of dreamlike island stages that are littered with everyday items from our past. In these surreal stages, time flows in many different directions, and you'll have to learn to manipulate it to overcome the different puzzles. The game is definitely a lot of fun to play and features some truly memorable moments. It's full of charm and creativity, and if you're interested in The Gardens Between, make sure to check it out before the sale ends on May 19th. It's marked down 80% to a new low of just $3.99. Next up, we have Thumper. This is another music-based game, this time from publisher Drool, and it's a single-player game offering more than 10 hours of main story gameplay. This is a great rhythm-based game with fast-paced action, blistering speed, and absolutely one-of-a-kind visuals. Of course, the game has an amazing soundtrack. It would be sorely lacking without it. But in this one, players soar down an endless track, crashing through obstacles with simple and tight controls as you confront the maniacal giant head from the future. I can't emphasize enough how great the music is, and if you're interested in Thumper, be sure to grab it up before the sale ends again on May 9th. It's marked down 75% to just $4.99. Torchlight II is an action-adventure RPG from Perfect World with a download size around 2 GB and a main story that should last more than 20 hours to finish up. It's shown from a top-down view with amazing graphics and sound, plus it has both local and online co-op for up to 4 players, which is amazing in a game with this much content that you can share with friends. It also has a pretty cool character customization section with 4 unique classes, all with different skills and abilities, but it even has New Game Plus, which brings a whole new level of challenge into the game. If you're interested in this one, be sure to grab it up before the sale ends again on May 9th. It's marked down 75%, matching a previous low of just $4.99. If you've already played this one, Part 3 is also on sale. Xenon Valkyrie Plus is a single-player roguelike RPG with a retro aesthetic, a small download size around 80 megabytes or so, and a main story that should last more than 10 hours to finish up. It has 3 playable characters, each with their own skills and abilities, great platforming, epic boss battles, tons of upgrades and secrets to find, plus there's multiple endings. However, the game is pretty tough and has the dreaded permadeath, so getting all of them will take some time. This is another amazing value at under $2. If you're interested in Xenon Valkyrie Plus, make sure to pick it up before the sale ends on the 21st. It's marked down 80%, matching an all-time low of just $1.99. Freedom Planet is a single-player 2D adventure game with a download size around 380 megabytes and a main story that should last roughly 8 to 10 hours to wrap up. As I mentioned, it's shown from a side view with a gorgeous 2D pixel art aesthetic, a rocking soundtrack to pump you up, and super smooth gameplay. The boss battles were the highlight for us though with this one, as not only are they epic and fun to fight, but they even have their own theme music and each of the tracks was awesome. Again, this game has 3 playable characters, a cool momentum-based platforming system, and tons of content on offer, making it a great value. If you're interested in Freedom Planet, grab it up before the sale ends on May 12th. It's marked down 70%, matching a previous low of just $4.49. Alright folks, and here are a few other games to check out while you're already on the eShop. Remember, if you're having a good time, hit that like button and leave me a comment down below what your favorite game from the list was, or what games you're looking forward to in the coming weeks or coming months, new releases, anything. Just leave me something down below to read and respond to. Thank you. Alright my friends, that's going to wrap up today's episode. If you made it this far, you're legendary, and if you haven't subbed yet, please consider doing so as we release a few videos every week, and if you love the Switch, we're bound to cover something you'll enjoy eventually, right? We cover single game deal spotlights, gameplays, reviews, live streams, these big lists, all that good stuff. And to the channel members and patrons, thank you all so much for the additional support. It really does mean a lot to myself and to Little Man. Thank you, you're too kind. Alright Little Man, take us home. Bye everyone, have a great weekend.
That's all for today's list. We hope you liked the video. If you did, consider subscribing and liking down below. Okay, bye!